Okay, I'm coming to you live. I hope that everyone can hear me. I am back. This is Chastity. I am the owner and the founder of Roadmap to Balance for Moms. I am actually coming to you live on my personal page. And so I usually come on here weekly, but I think I'm going to have to start coming every other week. If you guys are okay with that, that's cool. First thing I wanted to say is that I don't own the music that is playing in the background. I like to have my music playing, but I don't own the music that's playing in the background. And so before we get started, this is this is really geared towards parents, moms, any type of parental figure that's out there. And so if you feel like after watching this or while you're watching it, if you feel like it'll be beneficial for a parent or for a mom or for aunt that's a parental figure, grandparent, whatever, if you wouldn't mind sharing it or even tagging them or whatever the case may be so that it could benefit them. Because I believe in that if we have things to offer, things that we've been through, things that we've struggled with, in our testimony, it can help someone else. So if you feel like it would help someone else, please share. And then the other thing is that if you know a parent or a mom that is, just kind of having some struggles with, with their roles as a mom and just trying to get their business jump started, just in things in that area, I have a link in there that I have posted. You can have them schedule an appointment with me, and I can coach them through some things, especially when it's geared towards, making self-care as a priority, because that's one of the things that I struggled with, and I seem to have worked through that, and so I just want to share that with you. So if there's any moms that want to work through that while they're trying to balance, their household, their family, their businesses, and anything in that nature, that's what I'm here for. And so the other thing is that I also have a 4-week self-care challenge that I'm starting November 1st. And if you're interested in joining that challenge, feel free to sign up. There's also a link in there that you can sign up for that. I think it's going to be beneficial to a lot of us moms because we tend to struggle with putting ourselves first and taking care of ourselves. And it doesn't mean that just because you're putting yourself first that you're neglecting others. It just means that you're taking out time to take care of yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And so my topic for today is I'm going to be talking about how do we as parents or as a parental figure, cope with caring for our kids with illnesses. And so whenever I was, figuring out what I want to talk about this subject and praying about it, I was asking God, what could I share with moms or anybody that's a parental figure on this subject? Because this is personal for me because I live it. I've lived it and I still live it because this is what's going on within, with my current setting. And so when I was praying about it, God was giving me some things. And so I took some notes. And so I just want to kind of share it with other parents or with other moms, and it may help someone. So, and if it does, you can share it. And so some of the things I wanted to share is that, as a parent, as a mom, as any type of parental figure, we would literally do anything in the world to keep our kids from getting sick or getting a cold, diaper rash, or allergy, But what about, the mom or the parental figure that has children that have illnesses that we have to continue to fight daily? And some of those illnesses that I wanted to kind of point out was like, if they have a mental illness or sickle cell, cancer, Crohn's, any other illnesses that you can think of where we as parents have to, go through a daily struggle or a daily battle trying to advocate and trying to fight for our children and trying to make sure that that their needs are getting met. And so my next thing is, hey Candy, how are you? Good to see you, girl. So my next thing is, as a parent, we're fighting through these daily illnesses with our kids. And sometimes it gets hard to remain positive because we see the pain that our babies are experiencing. I know for me, with my kids, mental illnesses, especially in this season, is hard based on their age. For my kids, it becomes a struggle. And for my son, he has Crohn's. And so that has been an illness that he's been dealing with since the age of 4 or 5. we had gone back and forth to doctors, getting tests done. He's having, had all type of tests done. And there's been times where, he's been in pain. There was nothing that I can do about it. And so just being there for him and just being a mom and trying to find a solution, to something, that's challenging all by itself. And then, our other son, which is my stepson, Javon, he has, an illness, that we try to, find resources and solutions to as well. And so that kind of tends to be a struggle too, because there's always up and down moments. And so we can't always, we don't always have the right answers, but we always have to pivot so we can try to figure out what's the right answer or what's the answer for that moment. And so it tends to become a struggle every now and then, you know what I mean? And so for me, if my kids are not sleeping, then I'm not sleeping. I don't know if any moms can relate, but when our kids get sick, and even if they come down with a cold or fever or something minor like that, if they're not sleeping, we're not sleeping. And I can remember it's been times when my son, the one that has the Crohn's, whenever he would be sick in the middle of the night, sometimes there've been times where we literally would fall asleep by the toilet because he was throwing up and we couldn't control it. And so we would have to sleep by the toilet. And so as a mom, as mama bears, we'll do anything we can in the world to protect our kids. And so that's what we'll do. We do what we do as a parent to do what we can for our children. And so that's what I did. And so, we tend to go the extra mile because that's what we're going to do, and that's what we were born to do. And so, and being an advocate for our kids, I know sometimes fathers can be an advocate, but for the most part, moms tend to be that advocate. And I'm not saying that fathers can't be an advocate, but moms go a little bit deeper. They dive a little bit deeper, and they just go a little bit harder, as far as advocacy wise. And really all we want for our kids is to not be in pain, because we can't feel that pain, and we tend to feel, helpless. And I know for me, it was many times, many years gone by where I felt helpless because I felt like I could not figure out a solution, for my sons, because, it was moments where things were so up and down. We didn't know where things were going to go. And I'm going to say for my son, the one that has Crohn's, his weight was so up and down. We never knew if he was going to, gain weight, if he was going to, meet his growing markers. Like, at each age, you're supposed to be at a certain milestone for when at your growth rate. We didn't know if he was going to meet that. And sometimes he didn't meet it. Sometimes he was underweight. Sometimes they would say he was malnourished, but he really wasn't. But based off of his weight, it appeared he was that way. And that was because of, his illness. And Candy said, "It is our nature and we don't take no for an answer." Exactly, Candy. She said, "I have shared with you, my daughter has Crohn's and mental health issue." Yep. Thank you, Candy. And so, so it's just been many a times where, I've had to, me and my husband, we've had to go to different doctors to get different opinions, because we just wanted to try to get the best care we can for, both of our sons, because we wanted to make sure that they're going to be getting the best treatment, that they need for each of their different illnesses. And then as parents, I know for moms, I can't speak for dads because dads tend to internalize things, but for us moms, we often blame ourselves or overthink that we could have done things different to ensure that our child does not get sick or have an illness. We have to know that we did not get our kids sick. Like, I know for me, sometimes, I felt like, okay, well, maybe if I had done something different, he wouldn't have been born with Crohn's, or he wouldn't have, got Crohn's. Because, based off of what his doctor said, that is not a hereditary thing, but I mean, he had to have had it for a long time, because he's had it for, since he was like 4 or 5 years old. But for me, in my mind, I thought maybe, it was something that I did wrong, but no, it wasn't. So I had to like really, really tell myself that it wasn't my fault. So, I want other moms out there to know that sometimes when our kids become ill and things happen, that is not your fault. It's not something that you've done. And so we have to like really, really allow that to take over and not take the blame for some of the things, and just figure out a way to advocate and a way to try to help your child, and just continue to move along in that and stay in the moment, stay present in the moment, and like I said, advocate and help your child. And so I know, like, the other thing is that when our kids get sick, and this is just for like when they get colds and different things like that, we start sanitizing, Lysol and Clorox, and wiping down everything, and trying to get rid of every germ possible. I know for me, when my son first got Crohn's, and even with mental illness, like, I was cleaning everything. Like, this was years ago. I was cleaning everything, sanitizing everything. Like, I was just like, oh, everything's got to be clean, everything's got to be in place, and this and that. And it does, but then it doesn't. So you want to make sure things are clean and tidy, but it doesn't have to be OCD. And that was me. I was in the OCD category. So I had to realize, okay, everything doesn't have to be in the OCD category. But that's just me, because I'm a clean person, so I like things to be clean. And so here are just a few tips that I want to share with you as a mom and as a parent, that I've learned over the years, over time, with my relationship with God, and just Him healing me through these processes. Because we have to know that, when things happen to our children and they become ill, or, they get an illness, or even with mental illness, things like that, we have to know that we can pray these things through. We can ask God to heal our children. And we have to start now by building a relationship with God, and start praying to God and talking to God. I mean, I know some people may say, well, how do you pray? For me, I mean, I just talk to God. I just talk to God. I mean, some people might say, oh, that's crazy, but that's just what I do. And sometimes you can write down what your prayers are. It doesn't have to necessarily be an out loud prayer, but you can write down your prayers. It doesn't have to be so intense. You can write down exactly what you want them to do. And it could be something simple as, God, can you guide me to the right doctors so that I can advocate for my child? It can be a simple prayer as that. So, but anyway, I wanted to share a few tips for parents or moms that have kids. So the first one is that faith without works is dead. So we just need to pray over our kids and talk to, like I just said that, talk to our doctors and ask questions if something does not sound right, or get a second opinion. Like, we had to get a few opinions with my son with Crohn's, because we just didn't think that he had Crohn's, but based off of what they were saying, and then all the testing that they did, he does have Crohn's. And so he just have a lifelong illness. It's kind of like having diabetes. You just have to change your style of eating. You have to change the type of food you eat, and then you have to change basically, like, your the type of like the meats and stuff that you eat, and like the type of fruits and stuff that you eat. So foods that you can't break down, like in your intestines, you can't eat those type of foods, like nuts and stuff like that. But I can do another live on that and just go into more details about the Crohn's. And then in regards to the mental illness with our other son, we just have to make sure that we stay in close quarters and close contact with his doctors and stuff, so that if something does change or anything like that with his behavior, that we can contact them to say, hey, we need to get an appointment. And so that's very, very important too. So that's important too. And then the other thing that I wanted to share, another tip, is seek out community resources and support groups that relates to whatever issue you're dealing with, so that you can have more support. I didn't do that with my son that has Crohn's, but in regards to the mental illness, I did seek out support groups, because I struggled for a little bit in the beginning, because I did not know like how much it impacted our entire family. Like when you're living with, and when you're living with someone that has mental illness, you have to make sure that you have the support system around you to help you get through it, because it's a non-stop thing. Like you're living it every day, all day, around the clock, 24/7. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's a lot of work, and it affects everyone. Hi, Shanice. It affects your children, your other children. It affects your relationship, your marriage. It affects everything. So you definitely need to have a support group. And if you need more information on that, I can give you more details on that. But you can schedule an appointment with me, and I can give you more details on how to do that. And then don't be afraid to seek out counseling or coaching for yourself, like I just said, as a way to keep your sanity through it all. Like, it's a lot, but it's doable. Like, everything is doable. Like, just because we have a lot of things going on as a parent or as a mom or as a dad, whatever, like, it doesn't mean that you can't do it. It's just that you got to make sure that you seek out the necessary resources, tools, everything you need so that you can get through it. And don't be afraid to ask for help as well. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And that's one of the things I used to struggle with. I didn't want to ask for help because I felt like, if I ask for help, that means that I'm weak and that, like, I can't handle things. But nope, I don't do that no more. Nope, I ask for help. I'll call my mom quick, like, Mom, I need you to come up here all the way from Mississippi. I need you to drive, not drive, but catch a flight, and I'll get you a ticket. I need you to come up here because I need you up here this weekend because I'm struggling. So I'll call her real quick. I'll even call my dad, tell him to come up here because my dad likes to cook for us. And so I'll call him real quick and be like, Dad, yeah, I'm going to need you up here this week because I'm going to need you to cook every day for us. And he'll come. So, yeah, I'll call. If I need help, trust me, I will do it. In the past, like I said, I wouldn't do it, but I will do it. And like, I think I wrote that down. It says, make sure that you have a family support and friends support circle because you're going to need breaks. You're going to need breaks. You must realize and accept the fact that you're going to need breaks because you cannot do it all by yourself. You are going to need breaks. And even if you are a 2-parent household, you are still going to need breaks. My husband needs breaks. And I need breaks. So when he needs breaks, he go take a day and do whatever he needs to do. If it's golfing, whatever he want to do, he go do it. He have him a self-care day or whatever. And I'm fine with that. I don't, and whenever I need a break, I take me a break. I go take me a self-care day or whatever I need to do. And sometimes I'll just get in my car and go drive to Target. Target is one of my favorite stores, whether y'all know it or not. And I'll drive around just to get a break. Sometimes you just need to do that. And because when you're dealing with, kids that have illnesses, the needs are much higher. And then plus you have additional kids on the side of that. Like, you need that break. You need to take time away. And it's okay. It's okay. You got to be okay with being okay with knowing that you need a break. And I put that on there. Don't forget to take out time to care for yourself. Don't forget to take out time. You need to care for yourself. Yep. Shawnee said, yes, we all need help in learning. We do need a break. Yep, I agree. And lastly, be in the moment with your family because time is of the essence. Be in the moment with your family. That is true. And just being in this COVID time, we've started making Fridays our family night, our family time that we spend time together. We'll sit outside in the backyard and we'll start a fire pit and we'll do marshmallows and s'mores. And, just spend time with your family in the moment as much as you can because things are happening, and you just never know. So just spend time with your family. But whenever I was putting this together and I was praying and asking God, hey, what could I talk to parents about, talk to moms about? Every time I was planning to talk about this, Mary from the Bible came up. And when I was reading the book of John and the pain that she endured mentally, physically, and emotionally from having to watch her son, Jesus, being tortured, there was absolutely nothing that she could do. Now, this is what I write. I like to write my notes down, so that's why I'm reading. There was absolutely nothing that she could do about it. She was helpless and hopeless. Mary was helpless and hopeless because she saw her son being tortured. And to me, when I thought about the fact that, sometimes as parents, as parental figures, whether you're a grandparent, mom, dad, uncle, whatever role you play as a parental figure, sometimes we see our children being tortured, whether it's police brutality. I don't know why I'm going there. Whether it's, mental illness, whether it's, just the autoimmune illness, whether it's cancer or whatever the case may be. It's an illness, and sometimes we can't do anything about it, but pray to God, pray to God, pray to God, and make sure we're advocating for our kids, doing our research, and making sure that we're getting a second opinion as needed. And so what I meant by that, when I was going back to Mary, was that she was helpless and hopeless, but through it all, she kept her faith because she knew God had a plan. And sometimes just that there alone is what kept me through it all. And it continues to keep me through it all because I know God has a plan for me and my husband, for me and my family, for me and my kids. I know he has a plan. And sometimes just those things right there, for all of us, we have to know and understand and realize that God has a plan for our kids. You never know. And I'm gonna say this, I know he has a plan for my kids because Jamarian, the one that has Crohn's, he is so emotionally, mentally strong. He's very mentally strong because he's had to endure some issues where, he would always come to me and ask me, Mom, am I gonna ever grow? Or Mom, am I gonna ever get tall enough? Some of those different things that he doesn't really share a lot, but for me, I would always tell him, yeah, son, you're going to grow. You're going to get real tall. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And now he's super tall. He's very, very tall. I always kept my faith. I always knew that there was a plan for him. And there's still a plan for him. There's still a plan for him. And even with my son Javon, there's a plan for him too. God has a plan for him too. And, with the mental illness, God has a plan for him too. No matter what the issues are, God is going to get us through it. We just have to know it. We have to believe it. And then we have to act on it. Because faith without works is dead. So we got to act on it. We have to act on it. And so by me saying that, one of the scriptures this is one of my favorite, I have a few favorite scriptures, is Philippians 3:6. It says, "In nothing be anxious, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made unto God." So tell God what you need, ask God what you need, and pray about it, and don't be anxious about it. I used to struggle with anxiety because I was always worried about, their health. I used to always worried about if they're gonna be able to do this, do that, because that's what mama bears do. We worry about our kids. And I'm thinking about, with Mary and Jesus, I'm pretty sure she was worried. She was worried. But at the end of the day, she knew that God had a plan for her son. She knew it. Jesus told her that there was a plan. So she knew there was a plan. And so that's why it's very, very important for us as moms, if we don't have a support circle and if we don't have a relationship with God, that we try to figure those things out, because it's going to be important to our health and to our mental health. And so back then, Mary didn't have those resources. She probably had her support circle, her support circle of girlfriends, but she didn't have no one to advocate for Jesus. But she didn't really have nobody to advocate. But I'm just saying, she didn't have no doctors or anything like that back then. So, but I say that just for us to know that God has a plan for all of us, and he has a plan for our kids. So when we're advocating for them, pray about it, don't be anxious about it, and put it in God's hand. And then my final scripture is Jeremiah 29:11. "For I know the plans for you, the plans to prosper you, says the Lord, and not to harm you." So God has plans for all of our lives. And so we just have to know that. And then just know that each day you're doing the very best that you can as a parent, as a parental figure. And I have 3 affirmations that I want to leave with you all, and then I'm going to be out. I ain't want to hold you up long. So the 3 affirmations that I have for you all, because I wanted to affirm moms and parents, any type of parental figure, because we're doing a lot of work. We're doing the very best that we can, because we're juggling everything. We're juggling work, we're juggling our kids, we're juggling appointments, we're juggling school, we're juggling writing books, we're juggling, church, we're juggling everything that you can think of. We're juggling it. So I want to leave you here. I want to leave the parents with 3 affirmations. So the first affirmation is you are confident. Be confident in who you are. Be confident in your walk with God. Be confident in anything that you do. Be confident in how you parent. Be confident in how you advocate for your kids. Be confident in everything. And my next one is you are strong. You are a strong parent. You are a strong woman. You are a strong man. You are strong. And don't let no one else tell you that you're not. And then my last one is you are powerful. You are powerful. You have the power to decree and to pray over your children, over your family, over your life, over your spouse, over your significant other. You have the power to do that because God gave you that power. And don't ever forget that. So I just wanted to leave those things with you. And I want to thank you all for watching. I love you guys. And if you watch the replay and if you want to share it, please do so. If you want to tag someone, do so too as well. And like I said, if you know a parent or a mom that could benefit from some coaching services, you can send them my way. My link is in there. And then it's also on my business page. And I can put that in there too if someone needs it. But don't sit in silence. Don't sit in hurt and pain when you can seek out some type of services or resources. So I just wanted to share that with all of the parents out there. And I thank you all for watching so much. And until next time, see you guys later. Thank you.